Welcome back to another episode of Dentside Depot. We're here today with Junior Mint, and we're finally going to take the time to review the Rough Country Lowboy suspension lift kit. So looking at this truck, visually you can see that it pretty much looks amazing. Now this lift kit is supposed to be a 4-inch lift. I think it's probably a little bit more than 4 inches. So let's do this. Let's get the measuring tape out here and let's see what our clearance is from the floor to the top of the wheel well, so you know exactly what you're going to be getting. I'm going to go over this first, and then I'm going to go from front to back and tell you everything you need to know about this lift kit from Rough Country. So the front, after about 6 weeks of settling, we're at about 39 3/4. And in the back, we're at about almost 42, maybe 42 1/8 on the nose, and that is with 3-inch lift blocks, and I will go over that here shortly. So starting with the front of the truck, probably the most difficult thing you're gonna have is removing the bolts from the leaf springs, front and back. That's the most difficult part of doing this entire job. One thing right off the bat that I did not like about the Rough Country kit is that Rough Country does not make a steering stabilizer kit for it. So I got the Skyjacker steering stabilizer kit in silver to match the Rough Country springs. And you can see those right here, dual steering stabilizer to match the silver Rough Country springs. No issues with install in the front. Like I said, just getting these bolts out is probably going to be your most difficult part, and all of mine were bad, so I ended up replacing them with grade 8 hardware. I also have a new Moog center link, tie rod end. Obviously that is all new. The only other down of this entire kit is Rough Country also does not make the drag link for it. So you need a drop drag link. This drag link is Skyjacker SDL 250. You do not need a drop pitman arm. I tried that as well. It was actually too much drop, but you could probably do that drop pitman arm with just a stock drag link if you wanted to, but this is my setup. I have this on 2 trucks now, and it works perfectly fine. You can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 springs in the front pack, and that's where it gets a lot of its lift from. So that is the front. It's definitely way up there, but it definitely looks cool. So next big question is, and I'll just start, we'll get underneath the truck here and take a look. What happened to the drive shaft? All right, so let's get underneath and let's check out our drive shaft. Okay, so this is a Dorman drive shaft. It's brand new. I just ordered it from Dorman's website and they shipped it to me, and I actually got it in like 4 days, and it also came with Spicer U-joints, so I was really happy with that. That's how much room I have left, or how much space there is in the drive shaft, which is pretty darn good. So no issues with that at all. That is a stock length drive shaft. Now, why does the stock drive shaft fit when you have lifted leaf springs in the rear? Well, the reason for it is Rough Country puts the center spacing of the springs slightly forward than they would on a factory spring, and that's why they fit. Now, if you don't like the spacing of the rear wheels from the front to back of the wheelhouse of the bed, you could certainly drill them farther back, but then your drive shaft might not fit. Okay, looking at the back is, I would say, definitely more than 4 inches up. You know, that might not be correct, but I'd say it's closer to a 5-inch lift in the back. And I only used 3-inch lift blocks in the back. The kit calls for 4-inch lift blocks. That'd be 43 inches in the back, then it'd just be crazy tall in the back. So the only other downside that I have with the Rough Country kit is that if you're not going to use the 4-inch blocks, you have to order a different set of Rough Country U-bolts for the rear springs, which I did. They were 2 inches shorter from stock, and that was pretty much that. Not a super big deal, but that's another 40 bucks on top But when you consider the overall price of the kit is $800 to $900, really not that bad of value for sure. Another thing you're gonna have to add, Rough Country does not make this, you're gonna have to add Skyjacker's sway bar links if you want to run the sway bars. If you have an off-road truck, you probably don't want sway bars. This truck was equipped with it from the factory, so I definitely wanted to put it on. And then the last point I want to make is Rough Country says that you can use the stock brake hose. I did not find that to be the case. I went with Skyjacker's brake hose, or you could just make your own or just get a universal one off of Amazon or whatever. But that definitely did not work for my application. And I'll just show you in the front really quick. Rolling on down here. There is no way a factory brake line would fit on the front. It's just not possible. There's absolutely no way. And these are stock brakes, stock knuckles, everything's stock for the most part on this truck. So you're gonna have to get bigger brake lines for the front and the one single one for the rear as well. And then you can see there's your Skyjacker extended link for the front suspension. So what we're going to do next is we are going to take this truck out on a little road trip. We're gonna put it through its paces. I'll get some B-roll footage of the truck rolling over some railroad tracks. All right, so we're out driving Junior Mint on the road here. I think it's safe to say at this point, I can tell you that absolutely 100% the Rough Country kit was worth the $800-900 bucks. There's no doubt about it. It's a great kit, easy to install, and this truck drives absolutely great. I would have no issue at all daily driving this truck every single day. We're on a back road here in Pennsylvania, and we're going to be coming up on some railroad tracks here shortly. That's a great place to show you how it drives bump-wise, going over larger bumps. And it just soaks them up with this suspension. The suspension looks great. It drives great. It's absolutely fantastic. I have no complaints whatsoever with the suspension on this truck. Now, of course, there are some Skyjacker parts on it because Rough Country doesn't make everything for it. But the Rough Country components that are on it are fantastic. If I haven't put these springs on any truck that I have, I wouldn't even think twice about it. Okay, so here we go. Going over the railroad tracks. I'll stop talking so you can hear it. So you can see, I was going about 40 miles per hour over the railroad tracks there, just sucked them up. It was fantastic. This concludes the Junior Mint build series. I hope you enjoyed it. Please remember to like and subscribe.